Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. So I'm going to be giving you an update on some more transfer news. So Sami Khedira has said joining the Premier League would be an honour. He told Sky in Germany that as a child it was always my dream to play in the Premier League. Now, there's a few clubs that are interested in him. It says that West Ham are in talks to sign Sami Khedira. Sami Khedira said he would love to reunite with Carlo Ancelotti because don't forget he's already played under Carlo Ancelotti. Obviously, he said that he enjoyed working under Jose Mourinho before. He says Manchester United are also interested in him. I think we're interested in going for him in the summer. That's when he will be available on a free transfer because Sami Khedira is into the final year of his contract with Juventus. Now, he has been at Juventus for a good 5 years or so now. He has made 144 appearances for Juventus. He's also won quite a few trophies. He's predominantly a box-to-box midfielder, which is central, but he's also played as a holding midfielder before, and he's also played as an attacking midfielder. He is the age of 33. And he hasn't played for Juventus this season under Andrea Pirlo. I think it also said that Wolves and West Ham were interested in him during the summer transfer window. So yeah, so would you take him at Manchester United? Now, I want to delve into some news on Dean Henderson. So Dean Henderson has been linked with a shock move with Celtic. Now, Alex McLeish has come out and said it could be a very good statement if Celtic do get Dean Henderson on loan. Now, obviously, Dean Henderson is our number 2. He's obviously behind David De Gea. Dean Henderson recently made his England debut. Not so long ago, he made his Champions League debut for Manchester United. Now, he hasn't played in the Premier League this season. Now, I think Dean Henderson can become Man United's number 1 goalkeeper at some point because, like I said, he's now got that experience behind him because he did endure 2 successful loans with Sheffield United. Now, obviously, before he's been on loan with Shrewsbury, Stockport and Grimsby. Dean Henderson's been at Manchester United for several years. He's been at the club since the age of 14. During the summer, Dean Henderson signed a 6-year contract with Manchester United worth around 120 grand a week. So, would it be the right decision to put him out on loan again? If Dean Henderson was to go out on loan, then that would mean we could keep Sergio Romero as a backup. So yeah, could possibly be going to Celtic. Now, I want to delve into some news on Paul Pogba. Now, Paul Pogba is set to leave Manchester United next summer. Now, obviously, we're trying to sell Paul Pogba before he leaves the club on a 3 transfer. Now, the People's Persons reported out saying that Paul Pogba intends to leave the club on a 3 transfer. And Laurie Whitwell from The Athletic has, spoken about, Paul Pogba's future and all of that. Paul Pogba has confirmed that there has been no talks whatsoever over getting him a long-term contract at the football club. Now, earlier on this season, we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract. So Paul Pogba is under contract with the football club until June 2022. This was also confirmed by Fabrizio Romano. But obviously Paul Pogba was unhappy when we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract. Fabrizio Romano recently said, though, that Man United are reportedly preparing to offer Paul Pogba a new contract within months. Now, recently, Paul Pogba's spoken about his Man United struggles this season, and he said this season has been the most difficult period in his career, and he said playing for France is a breath of fresh air. Reflecting on Paul Pogba's recent comments, he has received quite a lot of criticism. Frank LeBoeuf recently criticised him. Richards, he recently criticised him. The other week, Jamie Carragher criticised him. Roy Keane's also criticised him before. So he has received a lot of criticism. And Pogba's relationship with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has become complicated. But he is on his way out of Manchester United. Didier Deschamps, the France manager, has been talking a lot about him recently, and he actually came out and said that he understands Paul Pogba better than Solskjaer, and praised him for his huge talent. And he also said the other week that Paul Pogba cannot be happy at the club for being left on the bench and for playing out of position. Paul Pogba's only started 2 of our last 7 games, hasn't he? Where will Paul Pogba go? Now, obviously, he's been relentlessly linked to a move to Real Madrid. Now, he did make an admission earlier on this season saying that one day his dream is to join Real Madrid, and he was talking a lot about Real Madrid and Zinedine Zidane last year. And last year he said he wanted to leave Man United because he was seeking for a new challenge. Obviously, his former club Juventus have been interested in him. Pogba did endure 4 exceptional years at Juventus, but the vast majority of his performances at Man United have been totally comparison to his ones at Juventus. PSG and Barcelona have been in for him before. Now, if we was to sell him next summer, we'd probably get in the £50-odd million range. There's no way we'd get more than the 89 million that we did pay for him. This is Paul Pogba's 5th season at the football club since he rejoined from Juventus. And he's made over 100 appearances for Man United in all competitions, and he has won 3 trophies at the club, and that was the Europa League, the League Cup and the Community Shield. He did endure a difficult time under the Jose Mourinho era, but there again, all our top players endured a difficult time under the Jose Mourinho era. Don't forget we had Pogba when he was a lot younger under the Sir Alex Ferguson era, but had to let him go due to limited appearances. Pogba's only had a good couple of periods at Manchester United, and that was towards the end of last season, and he did well in that 3-month period when Solskjaer was the interim manager. But prior to that, he's been very, very inconsistent. He was out for the vast majority of last season with an ankle injury. But Pogba's agent Mino Raiola did say during the summer transfer window that Pogba wanted to stay, and he said he would hold talks over a new long-term contract. So that's the breaking news on him, and swap deals have also been high on the agenda. But as it stands at the moment, Pogba, most expensive signing, 89 million, and one of the highest paid players at the club because he is on 290 grand a week. Now, I want to delve into some news on Daniel James. He's given us an update on his future. Daniel James says he loves it at Manchester United despite his lack of action, this season. He's only made 5 appearances for the football club in all competitions so far this season. He has been out of form for Manchester United, and Daniel James could actually leave Manchester United next year. Obviously, during the summer, there was rumours of him going out on loan, and it said Leeds United were interested in him. James recently scored for Wales in their 3-1 win against Finland. So he has actually done well for Wales. We got Daniel James in June 2019. Got him for around £18 million. So just wanted to give you some news on him. Now, it is good that we are making plans for next year. Obviously, next year we are looking to make more signings. There has been a lot of players on our agenda. Obviously, next year, we're looking to offload more players because there's still deadwood in the squad. Now, it's confirmed in January that we're going to be offloading around 4 players, and those 4 players are Phil Jones, Marcus Rojo, Sergio Romero and Timothy Fosu-Mensah. But obviously we're going to offload players next summer. I think Matic could be leaving the football club next year because Matic has lost his place in the team. Juan Mata, he could also be sold as well. Paul Pogba, like I've already said. Jesse Lingard, he's another one. I'm expecting Odion Ighalo to leave the club when his loan expires in January. We could also loan Brandon Williams out because Brandon Williams is now our 3rd choice left back following the arrival of Alex Telles. But definitely, Manchester United need to make more signings. I think we need around 5 signings to win the Premier League title. Man United need a centre-half because we need someone to go alongside Harry Maguire, and we also need a right winger, don't we? Now, will Ole Gunnar Solskjaer still be Manchester United manager in January? Well, it depends on how it goes now, doesn't it? If we can win our next 5 or 6 games, I think a lot of pressure will ease off Solskjaer. Obviously, he is under pressure at the football club, reflecting on our poor start to the season. Obviously, we've only registered 10 points from our opening 7 games in the Premier League so far this season, and we are sitting 14th in the Premier League. We've not yet won a game at Old Trafford in the Premier League this season, so it's been our worst start at Old Trafford for around 50 years. But don't forget, Woodward came out the other week and said Manchester United remain absolutely committed to Solskjaer despite our poor start to the season. Now, obviously, Solskjaer is to blame for some inconsistency, but not all of the blame stems from him. He's not only the problem at the club. Obviously, the board is one of the problems at the club, and the board's been one of the problems at the club for several years. Because obviously, the board haven't backed any of the managers that we've had since Ferguson left. They didn't back Moyes, they didn't back Van Gaal, they didn't back Mourinho, and they haven't backed Ole Gunnar Solskjaer enough. And Solskjaer revealed a few times during the summer transfer window that he was very infuriated with the board. And there's still certain players at Manchester United that are not good enough to represent Manchester United. And Ole has got quite a few issues to solve, but can he solve these issues? Obviously, he's got to solve the Paul Pogba issue. He's got to sort out the issues with Mason Greenwood. Because Mason Greenwood's had quite a few issues this season. Obviously, Solskjaer's got to work out his best midfield. Solskjaer's also got to identify his best 11. He's also got to select the right formation. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's gone a lot with a 4-2-3-1 formation since he got appointed in as Manchester United manager. But in a lot of our games, that formation hasn't really seemed to suit our standards. In like the big games, he's gone with a 3-5-2 formation, and a few times he's gone with a 4-3-3 formation. Hasn't he? Obviously, there's been a lot of talks of Mauricio Pochettino replacing Solskjaer at Manchester United. You know, he's obviously been the favourite to take over. Pochettino is now waiting for his next job. He's open to going to Barcelona, despite him rejecting Barcelona twice. Man City have also been in for him, but Pep Guardiola just recently signed a new contract with Man City. You know, is that good news from Man United perspective? Real Madrid have been in for him before, so too have Atletico Bilbao. Said the other week they was in for him. That was stemming from Marca. Said the other week Zenit St. Petersburg were in talks with him. Newcastle have been in for him before. Pochettino has been managerless now for like a year. But on Monday Night Football a few weeks ago, he made it clear that he's missing football and he's ready for a return to management. The Manchester Evening News said a few weeks ago that we've approached Mauricio Pochettino over becoming the club's new manager. Massimiliano Allegri, he's been another manager on our agenda. One of the alternatives to Pochettino. You know, we've been looking at Julian Nagelsmann. He's one of the alternatives as well to Pochettino. And it recently said we was interested in Roberto Mancini, and that was stemming from 2 Sport. But us sacking Solskjaer wouldn't really solve a lot, like I've already mentioned. I think the main explanation why Solskjaer is still Manchester United manager is because he's a club legend. And reflecting on that, our board have softened their stance on Solskjaer. But disregarding being a club legend, I think he would have been sacked by now. Obviously, Ole knew when he took the job at Manchester United, it was going to be massive for him. And I think now he's in a position he shouldn't be in, because I think the club made a mistake by giving him the job permanently, but we're giving the job permanently reflects on what he did in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager. But the club have made a lot of mistakes in the last 7 years or so, and that's one of the main explanations why we've been so inconsistent. You know, Ole has managed over 100 games for Manchester United in all competitions and won around 57. Reflecting on how long he's been at the club, he's learnt quite a bit and he's gained managerial experience. But he hasn't got that proven pedigree as a manager. You know, he's been at Man United now for almost 2 years. He's got a contract with the football club until 2022. And this is his second full season as Manchester United manager. And I said he's got to exceed his expectations this season if he is to remain Man United manager. I said that at the start of this season. And I said if we could finish in the top 4 this season and if we could win a trophy, that would represent a good season for Manchester United. And then that would give us something to build on. I think there's a good chance we could win a trophy. You know, we could win the Carabao Cup, we're into the quarterfinals of that. You know, we could win the FA Cup, but we won't win the Premier League and we won't win the Champions League. That's for certain. Since Ollie got appointed in as Man United manager, he has spent over £200 million at the club. We've obviously seen a lot of players depart the club since he got recommended in. Ollie did well last season because he got us to 3 semi-finals. He got us qualification for the Champions League. And he got us a 3rd place finish. That's the second highest we've finished since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. Last season was his first full season. At the first part of last season, we enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season. And Solskjaer has showed a lot of tactical flexibility in a lot of the big games. So that's another positive you can take. And I also like the way he has promoted the youth. Don't forget, Solskjaer is inheriting a lot of players here from the Jose Mourinho era. Still a few players here from the Louis van Gaal era, 1 player from the Moyes era, and there's only 2 players here now from the Sir Alex Ferguson era. The vast majority of the players we had under Fergie have now left the club. We've spent just over £1 billion in the last 7 years or so on players. So people say, reflecting on the money we've spent, we should be in much more of a commanding position than we are in. We have recruited over 30-odd players in since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. We haven't won the Premier League for around 8 years now. Now, like I've already gone through with you, there's players at Manchester United that have really, really impressed me recently. Bruno Fernandes, he's really, really impressed me. He's Manchester United's best player. He's Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes has enjoyed around 10 months at the football club, something like that. He scored 18 goals and provided 13 assists in 33 appearances. A lot of his goals have come from the penalty spot. Now, we paid around €55 million for him from Lisbon back in January, and Fernandes has got a contract with the club until 2025. Now, last season reflects on his good performances. He won Premier League Player of the Month twice. He's also won some Matt Busby Player of the Year award. Bruno Fernandes did score twice against Everton, and he also got an assist. But he's definitely undroppable. There was reports coming out from Spain yesterday saying that Real Madrid and Barcelona are interested in him at the end of the season, that is. So they're looking to take advantage of his unhappiness, because he has been unhappy, Bruno Fernandes, the way Man United have performed and that. And if nothing improves, then that'll obviously persuade him to leave the football club. And Bruno Fernandes says recently Man United have got the mentality to win the Premier League. Now, Marcus Rashford, he's impressed me this season. He scored a few goals in the league. Scored late on against Paris. That was the second time he'd done that. And he also scored a hat-trick against RB Leipzig. Became the second Man United player as a substitute to score a hat-trick. Marcus Rashford has been part of the club for several years. Rashford is 23, recently turned 23, and he's been with us since the age of 7. And he's been in our senior squad since 2016. Rashford usually deploys out wide now. He's more effective out wide than he is centrally. That's one thing I will say. Rashford's obviously got a shoulder problem at the moment, so he may not be able to play against West Brom tomorrow. Now, Edinson Cavani, he's recently impressed me. Obviously, Edinson Cavani scored his first goal for the football club in our 3-1 win against Everton. He almost scored with his first touch when he came on against Chelsea. Now, Cavani should be making his full Premier League debut for the club tomorrow against West Brom. Now, if Rashford and Martial are unavailable, he's going to definitely start. We got Edinson Cavani on a free transfer on deadline day. He signed a 2-year contract with Man United worth around 230 grand a week, and he currently wears that number 7 shirt, doesn't he? Now, I've also been very impressed with Donny van der Beek, in the games he has played in this season, but he hasn't played a lot, has he? He's not yet made his full Premier League debut for the club. Hopefully Van der Beek can make his full Premier League debut against West Brom tomorrow. But he has started our last 2 games in the Champions League. Now, Van der Beek recently revealed that Solskjaer told him to be patient and he's told him to wait for his opportunities. Van der Beek made a confession regarding his playing time, saying that he would have loved to have played more at Manchester United this season. Solskjaer's been in the process of trying to find his best position, Donny van der Beek's. He can play in like 3 different roles. You know, we paid £40 million for him from Ajax. Fred, he's also really impressed me, and Fred is definitely undroppable. Fred showed very good attacking intent. His defensive contributions being good and all of that, and he's improved under the Solskjaer era. You know, Fred's been at the club now for a few years. Didn't we pay around £47 million for him from Shakhtar Donetsk a few years ago? Fred's got a contract with the football club until 2023. Luke Shaw, I've been impressed with him in his last couple of games because he's got 2 assists in his last 2 games. But the problem is now Luke Shaw's out with a hamstring injury for a month. So my only element of concern about him, far too injury prone. Harry Maguire, now he's really impressed me. Good to see him bounce back from his early season troubles. He did have early season troubles because he had that incident in Greece before the start of the season. He sustained a few knocks. He obviously got sent off in one of England's games as well, Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire is our current captain and he's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment because we got him in a deal worth £88 million from Leicester in the summer of 2019. And Wan-Bissaka, he's recently impressed me. He showed good attacking intent. He's put good crosses into the box and his defensive contributions being good. This is Wan-Bissaka's 2nd season at Manchester United. You know, we got him in a deal worth £50 million from Palace in the summer of 2019. David De Gea, I've been impressed with him as well. Good to see him rejuvenate himself. He's made very good saves in a lot of games this season. This is David De Gea's 10th season at the football club. David De Gea has made over 400 appearances for Man United in all competitions, hasn't he? But yeah, he has been a long servant. I said he will remain our number 1 this season. So yeah, there's a few players that have really impressed me. There's obviously players that have not impressed me as well. You know, Martial, he's not really impressed me this season. Don't forget though, he did have a 3-match suspension in the Premier League because he got sent off in our 6-1 defeat to Tottenham, did Anthony Martial. Shouldn't have been sent off though. Martial scored though in his last 2 Champions League games. Martial though was very good last season under Ole, and he was good in his debut season under the Louis van Gaal era. Martial's enjoyed a good 5 years or so now at the football club. He's got a few back problems as Anthony Martial had this on international duty. Matici's also been disappointing, but like I've already said, he's lost his place in the team. Daniel James, he's been out of form. Pogba's been inconsistent. Victor Lindelof has had some good games, but I've still got element of concerns about him. So yeah, you know, these players that have been disappointing, isn't there? So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. By the way, Solskjaer's press conference will be coming up for the West Brom game. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very soon.